What's up, YouTube? Hopefully everybody's doing well. It is February 2014 and making this quick video blog about a discussion I had going not long ago. I asked the question through my Facebook, what is the most important of your senses, of the 5 senses that you have, and why? Now, naturally, there's no real right answer here, but I got some really awesome responses, some pretty interesting things sort of said back and kicked around. And a couple of people said that their sense of sight was their most important thing. One of my jiu-jitsu students, she talked about being able to see the sky and the stars and the moon and stuff like that. Totally makes sense from like an aesthetically, an artistic point of view. If you couldn't see the sky, the stars, there are people that are blind. They can't see that. And, it's sort of tragic in a way. But, they find ways around it to express themselves or find beauty in life. So definitely sight is a strong answer, Actually, my friend Kyle also weighed in and said sight as well, because he says that 80% of the people on Earth use sight as their primary sense. Definitely. If you just walk around one day and say, alright, I'm just going to go throughout this entire day with my eyes closed, and you can see, it's going to be an interesting day for you, had a couple other people talk about hearing. Now, I expected people to say hearing and sight, because those two are very big, I had a high school friend. She's a musician. She said that, music is the heartbeat of her life. And she was a musician in high school. Totally makes sense. My wife, she played the flute, so I'm sure she can identify with that. Being able to hear. Being able to sort of extract beauty from things through, your sense of hearing. And it sort of made me think of Beethoven, because it's mildly well known that Beethoven was actually going deaf, and obviously his notoriety, his fame, and all of his productivity was brought to him through his sense of hearing. And as time went along, he was losing his hearing. So what was really bringing him to, from here to there, his sense of hearing, what was really, garnering his productivity, was fleeting, was leaving him. So that must have felt like a really tragic and sort of scary thing for him. I can only imagine. But part of the reason why I started the discussion is because I wanted to talk about sense of touch. Now, I think the sense of touch is often overlooked. People sort of take it for granted. They think, okay, sight, hearing, whatever. Totally get it. But without the sense of touch, I think a lot of people would be lost. And certainly I think I would. If I wasn't able to, feel the embrace of somebody I loved, or be able to experience jiu-jitsu or wrestling. I wrestled for a very long time, still on the mats doing jiu-jitsu. If I couldn't feel my opponent or feel myself and feel the technique sort of flow through me, I don't know if I could really give that sense up. So that's why I sort of made this discussion. I want to talk about the sense of touch and how it's very important to me. I had a college wrestling coach. His name was Chris Edmonds. Great guy. Division I national champion. He talked about the sense of touch, and before he went on the mat, when he was wrestling in college, with him on mat side with his coach, they would sort of shake hands, but in a certain way. Now, it wasn't some weird, goofy handshake or something like that. And it wasn't a standard handshake. It wasn't one of the, sort of regular handshake. He said when he would shake hands, he would only do it right before a match with his coach. And it would look like this, where they would grab each other's forearms. And to me, this is very powerful. And he talked about the sense of touch and the sense of energy. And that his coach and himself were sort of sharing this energy before he went on the mat. And to me, that was really profound, because I personally believe there's a certain amount of energy between people. There's good energy and there's bad energy, you know. And I think the way human interaction works is positive energy will draw or bring more positive energy, and negative energy will bring more negative. And aside from that, aside from the idea of energy and positivity and even this handshake, which now actually, this is pretty cool. One of my coaches, my CrossFit coach, George Demetrio, every time I see him, you know, it's like, hey, what's up, coach? You know, and we call each other Spartan because his CrossFit gym is called Spartan Performance. We shake hands, but we do it like this idea of energy and strength and solidarity and good relationship with people, good positive energy. And if it wasn't for the sense of touch, this is sort of a lesson that I've just learned in the last month, a little bit more than a month, it'll be 5 weeks. If it wasn't for the sense of touch, I wouldn't be able to really appreciate and really love to do this. Hang on. This, yeah, she's sleeping right now, but this is Maddie, my daughter, and I could touch her. And without that sense, I don't know what I would be able to do. Right, Mads? She's sleeping, so she's using her sense of touch too. She's telling me to stop the video. So thanks, guys, for listening, and, you know, I'll see you around.